Hi, I'm Zach Beeser, and I'm presenting on the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, or the Fcpa. Now, the Fcpa is an act of legislation that was intended to prevent corruption and bribery. Two of the motivating factors that prompted Congress to enact such legislation was the Watergate scandal and the SEC's voluntary reporting program. In the Watergate scandal, under the direction of President Nixon, men broke into the National Democratic headquarters um, and bugged the office. Under further investigation, it was found that the administration had multiple overseas accounts that were being used for illegal purposes, such as the bribing of foreign officials. The second item, the SEC's voluntary reporting program, they told companies that if you voluntarily reported possible bribery payments or corruption to foreign officials, that the company would be able to avoid some of the penalties. The results of that were over 500 companies reported, and they reported over $300 million in questionable payments to foreign officials. So the FCPA was created. There are two main portions. First is the anti-bribery provision, and the second is the accounting provisions. So under the anti-bribery provisions, pretty straightforward. It forbids the bribery of foreign officials in order to obtain or retain business. For individuals, the penalty is $100,000 and a maximum of 5 years in prison. For corporations that violate, it's a $2 million fine and civil prosecution up to $10,000 per offense. In the accounting provisions, the second part, basically they just want to ensure that companies are maintaining an accurate set of accounting records. That way, in the event of an audit, those bribery payments would be able to be detected. It's intended to prevent perpetrators from concealing those illegal acts through misleading accounting practices. The penalties for violating the accounting portion is a $25 million fine and civil prosecution of $500,000 if the corporation is a issuer of securities. Now, one of the biggest instances of a violation of the Fcpa, biggest fines, was with the Siemens Corporation. They were involved in a lot of illegal payment schemes to foreign officials throughout the world. One of the worst cases is that they had paid over $170,000 for watches just for the president and vice president of Nigeria. In short, the U.S. and German regulators fined Siemens more than $1.3 billion, as well as a $350 million disgorgement of profits. They were able to exceed the limits of the Fcpa, the $25 million limit, by invoking the Alternative Fines Act, which allows the Department of Justice to authorize fines of up to twice the greater of the defendant's gain or the victim's loss from a criminal offense. So that's how they were able to get such a huge payment, huge fine. There were two amendments, basically in 1988 to the Fcpa, clarified grease payments as anything that facilitated or expedited traditional or routine business government actions of foreign officials. And it classified it as not bribery. In 1998, there was another amendment which added employees of international organizations to the definition of a foreign official. So you could no longer make bribery payments to employees of international organizations. In conclusion, if you're a corporation, you definitely need to have some Fcpa compliance programs in place. It's your responsibility as management of the board of directors to ensure that your employees understand the Fcpa and there are programs in place to prevent violations, because the violations can be catastrophic. Internal investigations are crucial if you find any irregularities. In conclusion, also, the global economy, as our interaction with other countries increases, it's important that we all converge on a set of globally accepted standards as far as bribery and corruption is concerned. And with the Fcpa, the U.S. has taken that first step and to show and pronounce what we deem as necessary and right. Thank you, and is there any questions?